Marion Dodd graduated from Rhode Island School of Design and has since focused her talents on developing custom artwork for corporate clients, including Fortune 500 companies. She's also written and illustrated several children's books with local scenes of mystic and environs. Her award-winning artwork has been shown at numerous juried exhibitions throughout the area.
Well, my mother's an artist, so I grew up in, actually my great-grandmother was an artist, so I always had art in the house.
Doing watercolors?
No. She did some watercolors, but she did mostly oil. But we drew, so she had me drawing from a very young age. But then actually I started, unfortunately, comparing my artwork, even as a little girl, to hers, and it was obviously not as good. So I stopped doing it, and I said, I got really frustrated, and I'm like, I was like little, and I was like, oh, not as good as my mother, so I'm not doing it anymore. So a friend of mine, I was in high school, freshman in high school, and we didn't have a lot of classes together, so she was one of my best friends. She said, come and take art. Come and take art with me so we'll have the class together. So I did. And then that's kind of where it all began. And
then you were hooked.
And then I was hooked. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I think my teachers were really important. Starting from high school, they were always very encouraging to me, including, and then my mother and her boss, she was working in the commercial art field, and they encouraged me to go into art and to go to RISD. And so, oops. That's not going to sound good. It fell off. There you go. Okay. So, and then once I got to RISD, I think I had fantastic artists, teachers. Chris Van Allsburg was one of my teachers. I majored in illustration. So I think they really encouraged me to draw and made me really get in there and look at things, and very, very encouraging to me, and I took a lot away from it. I mean, some teachers you didn't relate to, obviously, but there were some that were awesome. I think it's probably about 50-50.
Yeah.
I'm a real planner in every part of my life. I plan out everything. So I actually do a lot of research as to what I'm going to paint, because I want it to look right. Then I make the composition, and then I actually do a color study, and then I paint. Because with watercolors, once you put it down there, it's really hard to change it. You can change it somewhat, but yeah, I think it's my style. Yeah. I think it's color. I think it's all about the color and the composition and the flow. I really love to have a flow. I love to have nature in my paintings usually, or scenes. Like I love the local scenes and the waterfront and boats. But I like my paintings to have a flow to them and movement. I'm fairly conscious about it, you know, but I'm not totally like locked into it either. I know I do try to look at those thirds and try to place the objects correctly in the frame, but I think again, it's just like you get that feeling, you know, you've got a good composition, or you know when your composition's not working. And you're like, oh, I don't know, that, you know, I got to change something up here. Yeah, I mean, from the color study, I can look at it, but you can. Now, you can actually go back into watercolors and darken things and lighten things. You can, to a certain extent. It's just you really couldn't take like a figure over here and then move it over here. So I can play around with the colors if I feel like they're not working or something. But yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I have to just walk away, and because I've been looking at it too long, and then come back. I get too down into the details, and then I have to walk away, and then I'll come back to it and say, oh, I know what's wrong with that, or oh, no, it's finished. So I do have to walk away and step back a lot of times.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Marion.
You're welcome.
For sharing